Hey,
All right. So, comebacks, established acts. Let's get into it.
there's a lot of
Crack our knuckles. There's a lot to talk
we're
about.
gonna move. We're gonna move through there's gonna be some ones we maybe hang on a bit, but I think we're gonna move through this.
We're gonna move through this pretty quickly because I want to talk about a couple quick.
This first one for you, like, is means something.
It means something. It is specifically a track, and it is just this one song because the album is good. But I wouldn't say it was mind blowing. But this song was just something else. It's Guyan of Brown Eyed Girls with a song that was never meant to be a promotional single, but she put it out there. It was a great creative effort featuring Bumpkey, called "Fuck You." This is just a song called "Fuck You." And if you know the song "Bloom" and how much that one was kind of like an exciting song about that was a song about sex and the kind of all the good positive things about finally having sex with somebody you really love. And it's also about a music video in which Guyan masturbates in the kitchen.
Yeah. That happened.
And then Guyan's "Fuck You" has almost been called the inverse of that, like the reverse, like the downside, the dark side of like a sexual encounter. And specifically, what's so great about this? Again, it's a really well written song. It's a really well done song. It's a really well composed song. It's strangely alluring, and it's such a ballsy song to do a song about domestic abuse and rape. Like, for a pop musician like her status to just put it out there and just make a song about domestic abuse and rape, and specifically do a couple of things that she did great. It's this very alluring song. It has a lot of it that's catchy and enticing, and which makes sense musically because that's so much like and it makes the kind of the guy, the abuser, a good-looking guy, a very talented, good-looking actor, because it very much goes to the point of most sexual abuse happens from people you know and people that are close to you. Like, a lot of people that are sexually assaulted by somebody that's close to them, especially people that are in relationships with, and it goes back to this cycle of like, well, it's this person that I'm attracted to and I love, and but this isn't right, but it's I don't know, and it's this uncertainty, and just it works well on a music theory level, and it just like it's so ballsy. I love Guyan for this.
Yeah, I mean, I really liked it. Like, it was one of my favorite songs this year, and I love anything with fucking Sonny, and then like just fucking Guyan in general. It's just she's fucking amazing at what she does.
Yeah, like, oh, yeah. But yeah, moving on. I could gush on about this forever, but moving on to
this one. Well, like the next couple, like, kind of solidified my year.
Yes.
Fucking the comeback of Rain, 30 Sexy, like the Rain effect.
Yes.
So good.
So good. It was such an early release. It was like one of the first things that were released, and it was just amazing. Also, I get to type in 30 Sexy and automatically switch my scene. Okay. Because I typed in 3. So it was just a couple of fun tracks. This and LA Song were just some fun tracks, some hot jams. There were just some quality songs that just kind of infected you, and it is crazy to think, and it kind of feels like it happened a long time ago, because it did. Like, it more or less happened almost a year ago. Because this video was published on January 1st, 2014.
Yeah.
So like
it led into the new year.
Yeah, and it started off the year with a bang. Because we weren't getting a big bang.
Nope.
No. So we got Rain instead. But yeah, Rain is shit. Like, he just walked up in the scene like, what? I'm shit.
Right. And I mean, like, even if you thought, like, oh, all you're gonna get from Rain this year is new album. Nope. Motherfucker, like, spaced that shit out, did a cute little reality show, fucking, and then was in dramas, like, and in movies. He did a movie with Bruce fucking Willis. Like,
yeah. I saw the DVD. He's nowhere on the cover of it, but if you look on the back and look at the credits, it says Jun Ji Hoon, aka Rain. I'm like, that's the dude right there. Yeah, it was a fantastic release, and we love Rain, and we love hearing new stuff from Rain. But yeah, speaking of somebody else who had who had a fantastic year, just in general, let's talk about J Park in general for a little bit before we get into anything else. J Park, AOMG in general, another, like we talked about at the beginning of the year, it plays into hashtag Year of the Rapper. J Park and AOMG doing further releases here and there, kind of just, we could go in forever about like each individual release, and not all of them were great. There was kind of some hits and misses, some stuff wasn't perfect, but it was more and more stuff, like, you know, just solidifying the brand. J Park, kind of that So Good track was a fantastic tribute to Michael Jackson. It was just some really cool stuff from J Park and AOMG in general.
Like that, the album that Loco just put out. Like, I've been listening to some of it. It's really fucking good, man. Like, it's pretty fucking good. Like, and knowing that like some of the songs that he did, like, were meant to be J Park songs, and he's just like, yeah, I reworked them a little bit and made them my own. Like that's the type of shit you're supposed to do when you're like, you know, this young artist on this kind of young budding label and you trying to stand out. Like, you're like, yeah, I took some of the boss's music and made it my own.
Yeah. Yeah, and, you know, Loco putting out stuff. Doki, he's not everybody's favorite, but he put out some work, and he put out some hilarious songs and some very high effort songs, I'll say. Let's call them high effort. High effort. Just to be nice. Yeah,
the guys over at Illionaire, I mean, at this point, you know, they're pretty much part of AOMG, like, because they all run in that same circle. Like,
yeah. And that's how, and that's more of J Park. J Park infusing further that Western style hip hop with, you know, kind of Korean. The way he knows and he grew up with when it comes to hip hop, and doing it over there, and you know, bringing it out there, kind of having his label and his people, and then also being part of a bigger, you know, collective. It's something that was done before, but, you know, Tiger JK did it with the collective, like, you know, Tiger JK, you know, the MFETY and Dynamic Duo and a bunch of other people all kind of run in their circle. They're kind of that old school, you know, circle, and, you know, Epic High is part of that collective. Well, they're doing something similar, with these young rappers and artists, where, you know, they all collaborate together and all create music together, which is cool. Of course, it's not for everybody. Of course, it's very much like there are some of it where it kind of gets silly, but as far as creating a brand and kind of really building it out and making it further, creating a name for himself in the industry, kind of solidifying his spot as one of those artists that everyday Koreans actually like and respect in music, J Park had a solid year.
Definitely.
But yeah, let's talk about Kyary Pamyu Pamyu, because I always want to talk about Kyary Pamyu Pamyu, and she had some really solid releases this year. Not to the level of Pom Pom and some of her classics, but she still has some solid releases this year, like Kira Kira Killer, and I know one where she played Wii games against somebody else, and what was it? Nidari Bang Bang. Let's see. Yeah, just some solid releases, and we can't get enough of Kyary Pamyu Pamyu. It's just, again, solidifying her career, doing more commercials, touring everywhere. apparently meeting Ariana Grande at some point, probably teaching her what music is about and teaching her what it is to be with. Because you know what?
Don't be rude.
Yeah. All right. I'm sorry. Carrie is a sweetheart. She wouldn't do that. We can't. But yeah, having another solid year. I have to say, not the same year she's had before, but she's further. She's still doing her thing. She's still ranking in the money, and she's still doing commercials. So, can't knock her style. And she was definitely somebody that we. There's a reason. Let's be honest. There's a big reason why I included the Juku and Hallyujuku is because I wanted an excuse to talk about Carrie Pounding Pamu on the show. Oh, yeah, no. It's like if we just do it.
Caddy is amazing on like so many levels, and like you can only expect good shit from her. Like you can only expect that the things that she does and the things that she puts out are going to be top notch, like high level, like just shit that is just amazing.
Yeah, and it's something where I think, like I said with our boy band episode, we're gonna try another. Like we said with our boy band episode, we're gonna try to put the Juku back in Hallyujuku and not just talk about AKB48 and Carrie Pounding Pamu. And we're gonna try to make sure we're keeping track of like many artists, like Namiya Muro, Utada, see what she's doing. A lot of, and maybe people that are actually maybe more well known, and people are screaming at us like, "To this person!" I was like, we'll check them out. I promise. We'll try. But yeah, Caddy, we love you. We love you, Caddy.
All right. So what we got next?
All right. So we got next. I think somebody that we always have to talk about when you talk about not idol everybody else, which is Classic Choir Project. Classic Choir Project is had another solid year of releases, and another solid year of music production, another fantastic album, highlighted by the video that I featured on the show, Still I'm By Your Side, but as well as other songs and other releases with a big album. Classic Choir Project is a group that is always a contender for that group that is gonna impress you whenever they do something, like just at any point, like whenever they decided, hey, we're gonna do a thing this year, it's like that it's gonna be impressive on some level.
I mean, I've always loved Classic Choir Project because they have one of my favorite OSTs ever. They have one of my favorite OSTs ever, like, of fucking all times, with the song that they did for My Lovely Samsoon.
Yeah.
So they'll always have a space in my heart. They didn't have the greatest year, but they're one of these things that, like, they kind of come along and, like, just do what, like, is needed of them.
They do what they do, and they do it solidly, and they put out some quality music. And I think that's the main thing. They're always going to be right there on the forefront of kind of the public landscape when it comes to popular music. But yeah, Classic Choir Project, always a group to check out, always a group to talk about when you talk about the main big groups in music that aren't idols. But yeah, moving on to, gonna keep a good pace going. This year was another fantastic band year for Ailey. Ailey, coming off of, the kind of the craziness that was 2013, went ahead and made 2014 a solid year for herself. First, kind of a couple big releases. One big release being Singing Got Better, which was a fantastic ballad. Is a ballad that it doesn't sound like ballads usually sound in Korean music. And a big part of that is the punch that she gives the vocals. Singing Got Better, Noregan Nurisa. is a really solid release. Really, it's not mopey as you usually get with ballads. It's not mopey. It has a punch and it has a bite to it. And I think it's best exemplified, I think, in the article that I believe that has been posted on Asian Junkie from Pop Reviews now, that they included her on their top, like the top 50 list at number 9 of their top songs for this year. And they talk about how it had a pop edge to it. It had a fire to it, particularly in the arrangement, the drum line, the kind of what you don't see in the ballads, the kind of springy string, and the fact that the punch in the chorus from Ailey's vocals, Ailey just has some really quality vocals. Like she does have the thing where she could fall into the VH1 divas. Look how many notes I can sing, and look at me do these like vocal gymnastics and these runs and whatnot. And it's like, but she does it well. And when she kind of can be given a quality song, she can make it even better. And she has definitely impressed me this year, especially. I liked her before, but she has definitely impressed me this year with this, and then also with Don't Touch Me in her magazine album.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, she really kind of had this really good year. Like, there's only one other solo female artist that we're going to talk about in a bit. Well, two, but really one that, like, I think kind of solo female artist-wise, had a good year.
Yeah. And, yeah, and for that big juggernaut, but she still had that fantastic track. It's Don't Touch Me is just so much fun. It's such a fun track. And it's so catchy, and it's like, has such a cool sound to it, and I still jam to it, on a constant basis. And she also did like cool stuff, like collaborating with Dynamic Duo and appearing on Gecko's, solo release. It was, another fantastic year for Ailey. But moving on to another guy. So a couple of like solo debuts from artists that we know from not being solo. We're talking about with first of all, Gary finally coming out with this solo debut with Mr. Get, and putting out some like hip hop and being like hard and impressing.
No, I wouldn't say hard,
but actually impressing.
Yeah, no.
Well, we have one track,
dude. It's fucking Gary. Like, and then did we not think it was gonna be good? Like, I thought it was gonna be fucking good. Like, I anticipated this being fucking exceptional.
Yeah, and it was impressive, to say the least, and it worked out so well. And it was just a little mini album. It had a couple cool tracks. It had Shower Later, which is fun and kind of, slightly immature, but, had that, like, kind of, his kind of style of being, like, immature, perverty, and whatnot. But it really did impress. And it had a couple other tracks that were really cool and impressive. And kind of an interesting look at him just being him rather than him being part of Lee Sang.
Yeah.
And you see why he impresses. Another one that, a guy in a duo that impressed in his solo release, which was Gecko. Gecko. Gecko.
I was wondering what you were trying to sneakily add in there. I was like, what is he trying to add all of a sudden?
You caught me. Gecko with his solo album debut had just a pretty monster, cool little, ambitious album, really well done album with Red and Gray. Mm-hmm. Had a bunch of really cool guest appearances.
Well, also, like you said, it's something he had been working on for years. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it had been this thing that was like years in the making, like, and had
Yeah,
so
it
much
had releases already, and it did not disappoint. Like it did not disappoint at all. Red and Gray. But yeah, Gary impressed. He Mr. Gay, and then Gecko, both the dog guys. the dog and the dog nose. Both Gaz impressed. But speaking of Red, we had our girl
God. Hyuna. Oh my God. The queen bitch.
The queen bitch. HBIC of 4 Minute. Also the most adorable, lovable person to ever be considered a ridiculous queen diva.
Yeah.
Like, came out with her solo release, her solo album called A Talk. The chief promotional track on that being Red, and it was fantastic. It had a giant banana. It had dudes in monkey hats. It had Hyuna slapping some a really voluptuous butt. It had one swole ass black dude as a backup dancer. Like, it had so much fun. It had costume changes, jorts, actual monkeys. Like, what more could you ask for?
Like, it was fucking Hyuna at her best. Like, she just knows how to perform. I think, like, between fucking her solo shit, fucking Troublemaker, like, she just wants to keep performing. Like, she just doesn't want to have a reason to stop fucking performing.
Yeah.
Ever.
Like, and there's, you know, the ass slapping. You gotta love it. And it's just, she has such a charisma. Like, all of this would be lost and would be laughable, if it was done around somebody else. But she has such the charisma and personality and, like, presence to carry all this wacky silliness. And, like, she has the confidence in her performance to carry this. Like, you would never, let's be honest, you would never mistake her for the greatest singer in the world, or necessarily the greatest rapper in the world, or necessarily like that, but she is one of the best performers in K-pop, and she has one of the most commanding presences. She has a commanding presence that can't be denied, and she is also hilariously adorable. If you've ever seen her on variety shows or on her like little reality show, the pre-month that she had, which was adorable and fun and so funny.
I love Hyuna. Like,
Hyuna is life.
That's what I've learned this year. Is like, I was like, the more and more I saw, like, and then I was like, oh man, I really like Troublemaker. Oh man, I really like this. Oh shit, all this shit is Hyuna. Like,
yes,
I love Hyuna. Like, she's so amazing. Like, I want to give her this year, but it's not gonna happen.
No, it's not gonna happen. As much fun as this is, there's some big juggernauts that are unstoppable. And let's talk about something else. Let's talk about another another solo debut for another fantastic artist. We had Taeyong finally coming out with the album that he had been teasing when we were gonna have Ring-a-Linga. We finally got the full album with Rise, and talk about a juggernaut.
I'm gonna say, like, straight off the gate, I was fucking surprised it was that good. I thought it was kind of gonna be pretty mediocre. Like, I was like, it's gonna be okay at best. Like, but I'm not expecting the world to shake from fucking Taeyong, but he shook the fucking world with that.
Yeah.
Like, it was so fucking good. And the more and more I listened to each song, I was like, God damn, this kid is actually good. Like, fuck.
Yeah, when he isn't G-Dragon's puppy dog, He really does shine on his own.
Yeah.
With so many tracks that were so good on that song. Of course, Ring a Ling we had talked about previously. I think it was even like late last year that we had like talked about it and covered it on the show. It was our second episode. Our second episode ever was called Ring-a-Linga Ramen Noodles. Nom Nom Ring-a-Linga Ramen Noodles, because it was that long ago that we were talking about Ring-a-Linga. But it was included on this one, including other songs, including Eyes, Nose, Lips, which turned out to be the song. Like, it got covered several times. It is like, including, one of the best covers, and I think one of the best performances, almost transformative performances, which was Tableau's English version of the song, which turned into its own fantastic release. So Taeyong
I'm gonna say this: I like the Tableau version better.
Oh yeah, like Tableau, because it's just then it has so much raw emotion on that one. This one is really cool. It's a really great R&B song that it builds well. It has a great kind of release to it. And compositionally it's fantastic. But Tableau's version, like just lyrically, and we're talking about, Tableau, and he included it on Epic High's releases here, which we also should talk about. Taeyong's fantastic album, Epic High, another fantastic album, including Tableau's cover.
I need to buy that. I don't know why it's not already in my physical possession, and why I don't own 7 copies of it, because fucking Shoebox is the shit. It is so fucking good, man. Like,
so many fantastic tracks. So not just including Tableau's cover of Eyes, Nose, Lip was just so creative and so cool and intense vocally and lyrically, and had such a cool style to it. It was well done. It was well written, well sung. Like Taeyong's inclusion in the song was well done. Then you had all their jams like Born Hater. Hater. Oh, it like,
this is where we could get lost. Because as soon as I say fucking, I knew we were gonna gush over Shoebox. Shoebox was so fucking good, man. Like,
yeah. We could talk a little bit about Born Hater. There was so many fantastic stuff. Born Hater was just a really great single. It was, again, it's one of those tracks that was not destined for promotional work, just because of this nature of the song. But it was so well done. It was the formatted, the vertical formatting, the fact that they make vertical video work. Like, it actually made it work because it confined the visual landscape.
I love the thing that happens whenever we show it to anyone is they go, "Is this fucked up? Is this supposed to be like this?"
Yeah, it's supposed to be like that.
When they finally get it, they're like, "Oh, fuck, okay."
Yeah, it confines your eyes into these little corridors, and it kind of feels your trap. And contributions by all the artists involved, so fantastic. Like, we talked about it before. We talked about Epic High Born Hater. Go check out that review. We don't want to go on forever and ever. But yeah, it was just a fantastic album. Songs like this, songs like Burj Khalifa, songs like it's hard to just pick 2 or 3 to talk about, but I'll just keep an eye out for a future Record Breakers where I will bring the album up. And I will go in depth on that episode. Subscribe to the Rebelli Podcast TV.
Just letting you know now, I need to be on that episode.
Yes, we will be doing that. So keep an eye out. Subscribe to Record Breakers on iTunes, or if you already are, subscribe to our YouTube and keep an eye on that, because I'm gonna go in depth on that, because it's time to we gotta keep going. Epic High, fantastic. Moving on, I think artists that we have to talk about it, just because that they're always at the forefront of artists that are in the mainstream and important right now in the landscape. First off, IU.
Oh yeah,
doesn't get any better. Doesn't get any more. Yeah, IU is, and she does this so elegantly. IU, let me see. I'm going to try to find the date. Oh no, Red Shoes won this year. But IU had some really fantastic collaborations, really fantastic work, doing things left and right. Coming out with her album. Let me see. Was this year? No, this was at the end of last year. She had Red Shoes and that whole album. And then this year she had an album where she would cover old, classic, Korean pop songs. That was received very well. She also collaborated with our next artist. So she had another solid year, IU being IU and constantly being in the landscape. And she had a great contribution to our next artist, which is Sateji. Sateji.
But just Sateji.
Sateji is would you say the most important version, or the most important person in modern K-pop? He basically created modern K-pop. Sateji and the boys started it, and then everything came after that. And then he's been so many transformations. Just looking at it and not even knowing it, and just from passing observation, looking at his information, it just seems like he has been through so many transformations and so many cool things that it's just so interesting. And he had a couple of solid releases this year. One of which was a collaboration with IU, in which they each did their own cut of the song Sogyekdung, which is a very very solid, really creative song that ties into kind of Sateji's childhood and kind of how it reflects the history of Korea during kind of its kind of past, in it almost super recent past, it's the 80s when they were under basically what's the word, dictatorial rule. They were under a dictatorship as recent as the 80s. They've been through some shit. And air raid sirens and I think the conscription issue was bad now, I think back then, but it reflects it so well, and it's this video that invokes those feelings of being a kid in those times, and the confusion of that time, and it's just about his childhood, and it's so well done, and some really cool quality acting performances. Especially with the female in the video who we know as Fee from Good Doctor and My Love from Another Stars, the fantastic actress on there. It was a really cool release. And then the other track that I really dug was Christmalloween. Christmalloween is just a fun song. This is a fun song, and I've seen him perform it on some year-end music shows, and it's just a fun kind of weird video. It's very Nightmare Before Christmas style video and song, and the performances are cool, and the keyboardist acts all weird and creepy, and it's so cool. Did you get a chance to check out these tracks and check out Sateji's contribution to the year?
I didn't really check out the Sateji stuff. I know some Sateji stuff, but I never got around to it. I'm not gonna lie. It was just kind of kind of thing,
But yeah, I think there were. It's always important. He's always going to be somebody that you keep an eye out whenever he decides to do things, even if they are mildly butt rock influenced. But it was some pretty solid releases, and he is Sateji. You got to give him his props anytime he decides to show up and give us some tunes. But yeah, let's start getting into some of the meat and potatoes. Let's talk about some of the interesting artists. We talked about Sistar a couple episodes, during our girl group episode. We this year was interesting. This year was the year of the collab. I say, we talk about hashtag year of the rapper. It was also hashtag year of the collab. Let's start with Hyorin. Hyorin had a couple of things. Hyorin specifically had a pretty solid season, a pretty solid year. First of all, the main big thing was she was, there was a lot of, I think every K-pop artist, female or otherwise, had a cover of Let It Go this year. But there was only one artist that actually was officially on the actual soundtrack as the Korean version singer, which was Hyorin. And she did it fantastically. It was a fantastic rendition. And she also had a collab of her own, which was really cool, and it was like a really cool track. And contributed well with her year this year. But aside from her, let's talk about some of the collabs this year.
Yeah, this is the part I'm excited about. Like, the Setaiji, the Hyorin stuff was kind of mad this year for me, but like this collabo stuff was so fucking good, and one of these is gonna get the year.
Yes. So before we get into the big ones, let's talk about one that we shouldn't forget, which was Reina, she of Orange Caramel, or tangentially After School, collaborating with Sani.
You're just not going to give any respect to After School, are you?
No. Collaborating with Sani with a fantastic track of A Midsummer's Night's Sweetness, and Lawson with like the big juggernaut that was the big collaboration. This was a fantastic track. This was a super catchy, fantastic track. It has Sani, who I think we're both fans of, Reina, who I adore, and it was a fun track, wasn't it?
I mean, the Sana and Reina, the Sani and Reina stuff, I enjoyed. It's just, it was more Reina's style of things than it was Sani's style of things, And I wanted more of a mix from them. But I still really, really enjoyed it. Like, I still really, really liked what I got.
Yeah, it was cute and fun. It was catchy, and it was had a fun video to it as well. Like, all these collaborations, like, the main thing, they had really fun, cute videos, and I kind of liked it. And it was a thing to have super cute, puppy love relationship-y songs for this, but it was done really well. And actually, Reina had another collab where she did this is like the getting together song, and she had one that was like the ultimate breaking up song, and it was also fantastic. And Reina had a pretty solid year, and I love Orange Caramel, and I'm looking forward because now. I'll say it again. Apparently, Lizzie, the other third of Orange Caramel, is going to have a trot album.
Oh my god!
I'm hyped for that. I am hyped for that because I love Daesung's trot music.
Yeah,
I love me some Daesung trot music. And I dig on some trot music. It is just so much fun when it's done well. And Lizzie's such a fun personality; she's gonna own it so much. But yeah, fantastic stuff on Orange Caramel on a single level. But the queen, when it came to collabs this year, none other than Slayu herself, Soyu. She recently had a solid collaboration with Urban Zacapa. Again, people that are super respected and super well known by everyday Koreans, all throughout. The male versions of Urban Zacapa, where she basically said, "Hey, I really like Urban Zacapa. How about I become that female singer instead of her?"
Yeah.
She basically was like, I wonder if I could take her out and be her for one song. It was like, sure. And then they realized well, you plus collaboration means money, so fuck it. Let's do it.
How do you say no to that? You know what I'm saying? Like, is that a thing you do? Can you say no to that?
I can't say no to anything.
Right? How do you look at Soyu and go, no, no, we're not gonna let you do that. Because she's like, it's just like it fucking dominated, dude. Like, it took over hands down. There was no way around that the Soyu collabs were the greatest thing to hit Korea since fucking Chopsticks.
Yeah. Like, and then, of course, and we talk about the Urban Zacapa, and the reason that they couldn't turn it down was the big money maker. The hands down most downloaded, track, the most streamed track, the most, listened to track. It was everywhere. That was Soyu and Juggigo, featuring Little Boy from Geeks, Little Boy of Geeks, Some. Some was just a juggernaut. Some was everywhere. Everybody knew the song. Everybody heard the song everywhere. It was every coffee shop in Seoul was playing it at some point. Like, it was just that track, and because it was just infectious, fun, cute. The video is cute, and it really it solidified Soyu as like Miss Slayu, and more than anything, I mean, it had such power that it put the slang term "some" on the mainstream map. Like, it's funny to think about that. Like, people have, it's something that I saw people talk about, and recent comments and people, when people talk about "some," it's like, "some" was something that I knew was for those that don't know, "some" as a term is a word for like kind of that initial stage in a relationship where you kind of are attracted to each other and you're kind of flirting, but you're not sure if you're dating or you're gonna date, or, there's something going on, but it's not quite like official, or you're not quite sure yet, but there's something going on. Hence, some. Something's going on. And it was something that was said amongst young people, and it was a fairly popular term. And then this song was such a juggernaut that now you have like little Ajumad knowing that do you have some with him? Hey, granddaughter, you have some with that guy?
Like, that's just a weird thing to think about your grandma just being like, you some? Like, what? Your grandma, no, stop. Like, that's those things you don't want your grandma talking to you about.
Yeah, it would happen, and of course, like, it was just the undisputed champ
talking to you about some.
Yeah, no. But it was just so like, and one of the things that you had mentioned when we were talking about on our when I brought it up, the Urban Zacapa track, it is the disgustingly cute, but in a good way. You can say that about both these tracks and both these videos. Like, Baro and Dasam were adorable, and kind of you seen the back and forth and like them like claiming, no, it's not a date, it's a date, no, it's not a date, and then texting back to like, I don't know, maybe, and then like them like finally meeting up. It's adorable. Like, we could go on and on forever about the song, and a lot of people, say things extensively, and there's probably a lot of reviews out there detailing exactly what this song meant for this year, but it is the song of 2014. Some
no,
is
definitely.
The song of 2014.
Like, she used those songs and that shit to like fucking dominate the year like no other. Like, the way she did that with those collaborations was crazy.
And I kind of put further solidifying kind of Sistar's status. I think a big part of why they were up on number 2 of digital sales was mainly because Soyu was counted. Like, it was, like we said with Big Bang in our previous episode, how GD and Taeyong's stuff was counted toward Big Bang. Soyu kind of put Sistar on her back and put them on the map there. And Sistar, and not to say Sistar are slouches, they just, it was just how powerful this track was. But yeah, so I think you can't say anything but stamp the approval of saying 2014 was a year of some.
Yeah. Bam. Like, I don't know.
Yes.
My headphones.
Yes. But yeah, that's our comebacks. Let's talk about a little bit before let's wrap up with some interesting tidbits about the whole year. When it came to like these like every other artist, let's talk about some surprises.
Ooh, yes.
Let's reiterate.
Well,
surprises.
Do we even need to talk about Femme again?
Femme. We were surprised by Femme, and I think let's talk about how specifically we were surprised that it's just this group that came out of nowhere surprised us. We were surprised by Lip Service, and how good that song was. Like a lot of people, you wanted to kind of hate listen to it at first, but it was fantastic. And for both of these, they were just these odd, out of nowhere like duos that just kind of caught your attention. I was like, whoa, this is fantastic. But yeah, Femme and Lip Service, huge surprises. And I think, like I said, a huge surprise to this year. We were anticipating hashtag Year of the Rapper, and we got that for quite a bit of the year. But this year was also hashtag Year of the Collab. To say the least, because they were the mainstays, but there were a ton of other collabs that impressed and were done really well, and they don't show a sign of stopping. So it's going to be interesting to see.
I mean, there's nothing more I could say about Femme. Like,
yeah, but Year of the Collab, which is surprising. I think caught us by surprise, definitely.
Yeah. Now this next thing, like Lip Service is kind of yum, like, as a thing. Just like you said, it was this weird, silly thing that ended up being a lot better than I think we thought it was going to be. And then just the fact that so many people did collaborations this year, and a lot of people that you wouldn't expect to do collaborations, like, Zoyu, Urban Zapata, like Sonny and Reina, like those kind of things. Like, it's just those kind of collaborations you just don't expect.
Yeah,
but ended up being really. I wish the Sonny one was a little bit more mix of both of their styles instead of just kind of one of their styles. But
yeah, I definitely understand that. And let's talk about disappointments. This year, I think the big disappointment.
This first one, I don't get why you put that as a disappointment. I think
I was
a good year.
It was I'm gonna say specifically Hangover. I think Hangover just did not impress me at all. Like, I understand, like, Psy is still Psy. He's still gonna do his thing, and he's still gonna have great concerts. He's still gonna succeed, but as a track, that was his main release this year, was Hangover. And I just was utterly disappointed by the track and kind of what came of it. I mean, it was okay. It was catchy, but he can do better than mainly give the stage to Snoop Dogg and kind of hang around Snoop Dogg. Like, yeah, like a joke to when we talked about initially. It was a Snoop Dogg track.
His year-end concert was pretty good. Like,
yeah, I'll give him that. But like, that's what you would kind of. I understand that. I expect that. Like, I know that's gonna happen. But like, when it came to I'm just saying this is what mainly disappointed me. Like, his release, his contribution to the year didn't quite impress me as much as I usually am impressed by Psy's stuff. But yeah. And then the other disappointment was a disappointment for both of us. We were all rooting for you, Zico. We were all rooting for you. And that's Tough Cookie. Zico's God. Tough Cookie. So Zico, we found out Zico was going to do, I found out Zico was going to do a solo thing, and I was like, oh, cool. I was looking forward to that. And then I found out, I heard the teaser, and I heard Tough Cookie. I'm like, okay, it's going to have a dumb chorus, but I imagine it's going to be cool otherwise, or whatever. It's just going to be, he's a good rapper. He could kind of carry that. The chorus will be dumb, but, that's okay. I can laugh at a dumb chorus and still enjoy the song for what it is. And then it came out. And it was a try-hard mess.
Hold on. I'm gonna slightly play devil's advocate here and defend. What the fuck? Why did this one come here? defend Zico, and say that of what it was, right, is like it's a good song, right? If you kind of take out the video and the faggot part,
Yes.
it's a good song. And it's Zico being Zico. It's him knowing how to compose musically. It's him, like, it's,
yeah, it is. I definitely say that. It's a definitely well-made song. It's a very well-constructed song. It's well-performed song. It's just the video, the presentation, the try-hardness of it all. Like he didn't have to go try hard as he did. Like A, that, and B, Don Mills needs to keep his shirt on.
Yo, it's Don Mills, you know. Don Mills. Was he like really mumble mouth? Did it just sound like he just like ate a bunch of like fucking cookies? Let's say, like.
I think he was eating the tub cookies. I think that explains a couple of things. He was eating the cookies, and that explains two things: his mush mouth and how he looks without his shirt. Both things explained right now. He was eating them cookies. Them tough cookies. And he had trouble chewing. As long as he wasn't eating the tub cookies. No.
Oh god. No, please. I don't want anybody to have to eat those tub cookies. Like, those tub cookies are probably fucking diseased or something. Like, they're bad. They're bad. Nobody should be eating, oh god, tub cookies, like.
Yeah, and like, it just annoyed me. I think the video just annoyed me to no end. Like, him pulling out, doing them gun motions, like he's some gangster. Like, just constantly doing the gun motions, and goddamn grills in his face. I'm like, and here's the thing: a lot of these elements, I laughed off. Specifically in one video, is a lot of these similar elements. I laughed it off in CL's The Baddest Female.
Yeah,
I didn't get worked up. I just kind of laughed it off. Why? Because I didn't expect as much from CL. I love CL. I love her to death, and I love her music is fun and fun, and she makes catchy tunes. But I didn't have expectations from her. Zico is somebody who I think has talent and potential and could make some really great stuff. And all he had to do was keep it, just kiss. Keep it simple, stupid. Keep it simple, stupid. Like, just a simple video. Didn't have to, like, do just him in front of a stage, or him, like, even in take the same setting. Take out the grills, take that damn bandana off your head. Just in a baggy t-shirt and baggy pants, that's cool. Like, I'm okay with the gold chain. No grills, no gun motions, no, like, no objectifying women. Like,
that's...
I know, but
it's the dumb
doesn't mean I don't, doesn't mean I like it. But yeah, I know Kanye did it, but no jacket with a Confederate flag on it, because it was dumb when Kanye did it too. It was dumb when Kanye wore it too. So, and it's dumb when you wear it. It's like I said, what really bothered me and why I was so like worked up about it was because. Like I keep bringing up the Tyra Banks quote. Like, I was rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. Like, because I have such expectation. I still do. I still think it's not like Zico is dead to me or anything. I still think he's got it in him to keep doing music, and I'm still looking forward to Block B's next release. Like, they're probably working on something really awesome. Like, I'm still looking forward to whatever else Zico does. Like, I'm still hopeful, but this just bummed me out, and that's the main crux of like why I call it a disappointment specifically. But yeah, that was 2014 in a nutshell musically. That kind of wraps it up for all the music elements. We're going to have one last episode where we talk about things in general and predictions and whatnot. But that's the next episode. For now, this is it. Like I said, follow the things. King Kaz, PD Rave. Subscribe, share, like. That's it. Until
and come
next
back,
time,
please, because we got 2 more year episodes. We got the year prediction and just the wrap up. Well, no, 1 more episode. No.
One more episode. We're all doing one more episode, and come back for it. It's gonna be fun. Hopefully. Until next time, hasta los huevos.